The candle in the John mansion's living room cast a dim golden glow over the tense atmosphere. The room was filled with a suffocating silence, broken only by the quiet sobs of one woman. Jungkook's mother sat on the grand velvet couch, her face buried in her trembling hands, tears streaming down her cheeks like an endless river. Her body shuddered with each breath as grief clawed at her chest, suffocating her in a pain too deep to express. Beside her, Jenna sat with a clenched jaw, her fingers tightening around her mother's shoulders in a desperate attempt to comfort her, while their aunt rubbed soothing circles on her back. But nothing, absolutely nothing could console her. She ruined him, Jungkook's mother choked out between sobs, her voice hoarse from hours of crying. She destroyed my son, my Jungkook, my cheerful, loving son. Her voice cracked, the weight of her sorrow pressing heavily on her. How could she do this to him? How could she leave him like that? After everything, Jenna swallowed hard, her own heart aching at the sight of her mother breaking apart. Mom, please, you need to calm down, she whispered, though she knew it was pointless. Calm down, her mother's voice rose in agony. She lifted her tear-streaked face, her eyes burning with pain and restraint. How can I calm down, Jenna? Tell me how. She shook her head violently. Ever since that day, he is not the same. He doesn't smile. He barely talks to anyone. He is drowning himself in alcohol, pushing everyone away. My baby, my son is suffering and I can do nothing but watch. Jenna bit her lip, lowering her gaze. She had seen it too. How Jungkook locked himself in his study for hours, emerging only when the liquor in his glass had turned into his only companion. How his once warm golden eyes now held nothing but cold emptiness. How he lashed out at people who cared about him, shutting them out, burying himself in his new found cruelty. Jungkook had changed. The boy who once laughed at the silliest things, who used to playfully mess up Jenna's hair just to annoy her, who used to bring his mother flowers every weekend, had disappeared. In his place stood a man hardened by betrayal, consumed by loss, and drowning in a darkness he could not escape. The aunt, who had been silently comforting Jungkook's mother, sighed deeply. We all saw it happen and we all tried to help him, but he doesn't let anyone in anymore. She said softly, it's like he doesn't care about anything. He barely eats, barely sleeps. All he does is drink and work. And when he isn't doing that, he's trying to find her. Jungkook's mother let out a bitter laugh, shaking her head as she wiped her tears away angrily. Find her? He will never find her. Her voice trembled with anger, now her hands clenching into fists. She vanished. She disappeared like she never even existed. She took her brother and her friend with her, and it's like they were ghosts all along. No traces, no leads, nothing. She made sure of it. Jana's short iron. It's been 2 weeks, Mom. He's been searching non-stop, but you're right. There's nothing. It's like she erased herself from the world. Her mother's face twisted in anguish. And why? Why did she do this? If she didn't love him, she could have just said it. If she didn't want to marry him, she could have spoken up. But no, she had to humiliate him. She had to leave him on the most important day of his life, destroy every dream he had, and shatter his heart into a million pieces. She turned my son into this cold, ruthless man who doesn't believe in love anymore. Her voice cracked again as fresh tears streamed down her cheeks. I will never forgive her for this, never. Her words echoed through the room, thick with unrelenting hatred and sorrow. Jenna sighed, her fingers tightening around her mother's hands. I know, Mom, I know how much it hurts, but blaming her won't bring Jungkook back to how he was. Their aunt nodded. Jungkook was still young in the mafia world. He had barely entered it. His connections weren't weren't strong enough to track someone who didn't want to be found. He tried. We searched everywhere, but she was just gone. Jungkook's mother let out a broken sob, pressing a hand to her chest as though trying to hold her heart together. He loved her so much, he would have given her the world. And this is what she gave him in return. Jenna clenched her jaw, anger bubbling in her chest. She was his world, Mom, and she shattered it into pieces. Silence filled the room, heavy and suffocating. The only sound left was the quiet weeping of a mother who had lost her son not in death but in spirit. And somewhere else far away, Jungkook was groaning in the same pain, in the same emptiness, in the same loss, but with no one to pull him back. The heavy silence in the room was only broken by Jungkook's mother's muffled sobs. The weight of heartbreak hung in the air like a suffocating fog passing against the walls of the John mansion. Then the door creaked open. All eyes turned as a figure stepped inside. The woman's face was showed for a moment, but as she moved forward, the dim light from the chandelier revealed her soft yet sharp features. Her gaze flicked towards the grieving woman on the couch before she rushed forward without hesitation. Auntie. Her voice was gentle yet firm as she sank to her knees and wrapped her arms around Jungkook's mother. The older woman stiffened for a moment before breaking down completely in her knees embrace. He won't listen to me, she sobbed. He won't eat, he won't talk. He's drowning himself in this pain, and I can't save him. I can't bring my son back. Her knees tightened, her arms around her, letting her cry. She didn't say anything at first, because what was there to say? Words wouldn't mend the pieces of her arms. Aunt's shattered heart. They wouldn't bring back the bright, cheerful boy Jungkook once was they. Wouldn't erase the suffering he had endured after your disappearance. Jenna sighed, rubbing her forehead as she sat on the armrest of the couch. It's getting worse, you know. He barely even steps outside anymore, and when he does, it's either to handle the mafia business or to drink himself numb. She shook her head. If this keeps up, one day we might not be able to reach him at all. Jungkook's cousin pulled back slightly, her sharp eyes flickering towards Jenna, then their aunt. Where is he now? Jenna scoffed. Where do you think? Locked up in his room, drinking his soul away like he has been for the past 2 weeks. A heavy silence fell, then Jungkook's cousin exhaled slowly before standing up. Her gaze hardened with determination. I need to talk to him. Jenna's brows shot up. Are you sure that's a good idea? He's not exactly in the mood for heart to heart lately. I don't care. Her voice was firm. I refuse to watch him destroy himself like this. She turned towards the stairs. I'm going to him. Jungkook's mother lifted her head, her tear-filled eyes, her lips trembling. If he yells at you, don't take it to the heart, dear. He doesn't mean it. Her niece smiled softly, though there was sadness in her gaze. I know, and with that she turned and walked up the grand staircase, each step heavier than the last. The heavy silence of the John mansion pressed down like a suffocating weight. The once lively home, filled with warmth and laughter, was now nothing more than a cold, lifeless space drenched in misery.